Good morning.
I'll put it in this bag.
Okay.
Morning, Tony.
Hey, how we doing today, everybody?
Muted. There we
Morning,
go.
morning.
Great.
Glennda, how are you?
I'm
So-
just living the dream if somebody's asking me. I'm fantastic. I'm just selling houses every day.
Love it. Yeah. So, full disclosure, I may have a grandchild or two photo bombing here and there. Up at our place up in the Lakes region, and I got 5 grandkids slept over last night. So, they pop in. They pop in.
No problem.
All right. So, Glennda and I have not scripted anything. In fact, we have not spoken before. I follow her on Instagram, and she's amazing to watch and listen to. And I think one of the things I love about you the most is you're you. You're very genuine, and you just kind of lay it all out there. So very, very cool. Would you mind starting off by telling us a little bit about you, where you're at, your business?
Glennda Baker. I am a real estate agent in Atlanta, Georgia. I have an all-female team that I run called the Diamond Squad. It's me and 4 agents, and then I have 2 on the back end. I've been selling real estate since Jesus was a baby. And we sell all kinds of houses, $150,000 townhomes, $5 million houses. And about, goodness gracious, I guess it's been about 2.5 years ago, I started doing like formalized video. Back in 2016, I did Glennda Live, and then in 2017, I did posts from the Porsche. But in 2020, late 2020, I started doing TikTok videos, just TikTok videos talking about real estate. And that has kind of taken on a life of its own. And I started a little series called Sugar and Spice Real Estate Advice, where I would give advice to buyers and sellers. And kind of started giving advice to real estate agents about how to find more clients and how to be a better real estate agent. And it's kind of started this cult following. And now I have over 1 million followers and hundreds of millions of views. And somebody once upon a time said that I was the most recognized face and voice in real estate video. So there is a little synopsis about me.
Wow. And we had in fact, I sent you a message. We had a mega metro camp, which is basically some of the top agents get together. And we have speakers come in. We had a guest speaker come in talking about social media, and he put 4 people up on there that he considered icons. And I saw this. Oh, that's pretty interesting. Yeah, I noticed you've got almost 800,000 plus followers on TikTok. TikTok's for kids, right?
Well, it's funny. I'm so glad that nobody told me that. I did not realize that TikTok was for teenagers and dancing. And so I saw somebody post a real estate video there. I posted a real estate video there. I started with 122 followers, which I have no idea who those 122 people were. And now it's nearly 900,000 on TikTok, about 130,000 on Instagram, 100,000 on Facebook. I mean, it's just insanity, the reach. And I think that that's what real estate agents don't really realize is you don't know who is watching. And you think a little bit about it and you're like, wait a minute, I'm not going to be on TikTok. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, there's only kids there. Well, Dixie with the $3.5 million house that's 47 years old is on TikTok. And Debbie, who's 58 years old with the $1.5 million house, is on TikTok. And Jill, who is 51 with the $1.5 million house, is on TikTok. And those 3 women found me on TikTok. And you think about Zachary, 53 days from TikTok to closing in a product that I don't really even sell. So Zachary has a vertical, a condo in a 40-story building in Midtown Atlanta, which is not my bread and butter. And he called me and said, hey, I found you on TikTok. I saw where you sold the wrong house. Well, wow, that's really a great claim to fame. I definitely want to do business with her, right? And I saw where, you made a price suggestion to a seller and he threw you out. And I figure if I want to get my home sold, I should probably work with you. And that was a $650,000 condo. So $20,000. So you think that that your demographic isn't on TikTok, isn't on Instagram, isn't on social media. I would probably say you're wrong.
Wow, interesting. One thing I had noticed, you were on a thing with Tom Ferry, and you talked about how you do your videos, because you've got consistent content. And I know you've got a videographer that you really like. So I'd love to hear about how you create your content and a little bit about Dallas, I believe, or Denver.
Denver. Everybody wants Denver to be Dallas. So Denver is actually Denver, and Denver is a videographer that I found on Instagram. Another real estate agent had posted a video, a very scripted video, and he shot it for her. And, you know, she's real pretty and she's an actress and does real estate on the side. I said, if he's good enough for her, he's good enough for me. And so I started shooting with Denver. That's what I say, formalized video, where it was professionally shot, produced, and edited. And so I batch shoot, and we start at about 8:30. We go 8:30 to 11:30, and then we take a lunch, and then we go 1 to 4. And so we shoot one day, and in that time frame, I can shoot about 50 to 70 videos. It just depends on what we're shooting. Everybody, this is the next question. Everybody wants to know, where do you come up with the ideas? How do you keep track of them? Literally anything that comes into my head, I put it into this Google form, and I'll send you a screenshot of it because I don't know if you can see it. So it is, what is the idea? What was the inspiration for the idea? And what do you want to say about it? And it's literally a Google form link on my phone. And so when I get an idea, I put it here, I press submit. It goes into a Google sheet. Denver opens the laptop when he gets to my house, and we go down the list of ideas that I want to talk about. There is no rocket science behind this. It is literally easy peasy lemon squeezy. If something gets me all worked up before Denver is going to be here, I typically do it on a live. If you have not done video before, I would strongly suggest that you start with live video. The reason I say that is because if you're doing it yourself, oh, wait a minute, I don't like my hair. No, I didn't look right. Oh, I forgot to take off my glasses. Oh, I said the wrong word. You're never, ever going to get anything out. Whereas if you shoot it live, it's out there. Just suck it up, Buttercup. It's out there, post it, keep going with it. And you think that people want some scripted, fancy content. I can get all of that on Google. I can get I can search that. I can find that. What people want to know is, what is a primary bedroom on the main floor worth in your area? And why is it worth more in your area than it is in the neighboring town 20 miles away? So I live in Cobb County. There's a senior exemption. So the school taxes are removed once you reach 62. Well, a primary bedroom on the main floor in this county is worth about 18% more, because 46% of the people that live in this county are 62 or older. So that Zillow doesn't know that. Google doesn't know that. Getting into the house, being at the step list, the yard, what's important in your community, and what happens day to day. You know, the video where the inspector, you know, said that we needed to bring out a brick mason because the brick was moist. It's been raining in Atlanta for 3 weeks. Of course, the brick is moist. You can't get that on Google. So you need to be the real estate source, the source for all things real estate in your community about stuff they cannot Google. So that's kind of where I'd go with the video. But what would you tell your best friend? What would you tell your best client? What would you tell your therapist about real estate? Because we've all had that crazy Sally the seller. who has, beat the crap out of you and, oh, you didn't sell my house. Why don't you have any offers on my house? Well, Sally, I'm sorry, your house is like $150,000 overpriced. Like, we all have that story we need to tell the therapist. That makes for great video.
Mm. So when you're getting, what I'm hearing here is really, you need to know your market.
Hello, you're a real estate agent.
Exactly. What is your routine to make sure that you're staying abreast of what's happening, what's going on in the market, shifts, changes? What do you do to make sure that you're working on your business in that respect?
So if you're not in houses or with clients every single day, then you have time to be in houses. So real estate agents are the most magically busy, unbusy people I've ever met. Like, I need to change my pencils. I need to get a new pad. You know what? I need to buy this software. Like, all of that is just noise. Like, what you need to do is you need to find, here's where my office is. Here's where my kids' school is. Here's where my place of worship is. And you need to know every single thing in the triangle, whether it's your country club or where it's the 3 places that you spend the most time. That makes a triangle. Then that way, when you go to the PTA meeting and you see Susie, hey, Susie, how's it going? Oh, it's great. How's it going with you, Glenda? Oh, living the dream, selling houses every day. Oh, that's right. You're in real estate. I totally forgot. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm in real estate. I showed 123 Banana Street. You would not believe every single room was a different color. And they want like $800,000 for that house. Oh my, the house on the way to the school. Yeah, that house. Oh, that's right. Oh my, what are they thinking? All of a sudden, you're talking real estate without being salesy. You're bringing up the topic. What are you doing, Glenda? Living the dream, selling houses every day. Glenda, what are you doing? Oh, my stars and stripes. I have been in the street showing houses all day long. Oh, that's right. You're in real estate. Yes, I'm in real estate. Please tell me you know somebody who wants to sell their house, because I've got people standing in line to buy a house. And then that way you don't ever sound salesy, number one. And number two, you're reminding people you're in real estate. And so you can't talk intelligently about real estate unless you know what's going on in the market, unless you've talked to your lender about rates, unless you've talked to your attorney about, I sit down with my lender, with my attorney every single month. What are you seeing? What are you seeing? What is surprising you most about the contracts that you see, Seth? Just, you see thousands of contracts in a month. What surprises you the most? The fact that agents don't fill out the contract completely. The fact that people don't turn their earnest money in on time. The fact that the lender thinks that the time limits are written in pencil. There's 3 videos, boom, 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 boom. And you could take those 3 topics and actually probably make 9 videos, because they're short form videos. You don't need to talk till the cows come home. Of course, obviously, I haven't learned that lesson. Sorry about that.
Totally okay. You're doing a great job. I love that. Oh, you said something just caught my attention. You said the lender thinks the timelines are written in pencil.
Yeah. I mean, how many lenders, how many big box lenders think that the time limit is written in pencil? This is Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo. So the finance, we ask them, hey, Bob, you're going to do the loan for John and Joni. How much time do you need on the financing contingency? I should be able to get everything done in 14 days. Okay, great. Okay, 14 days is what it says. Hey, Bob, we haven't received loan approval yet. Yeah, the appraiser hasn't been out. Well, we're on day 12. Well, yeah, you're going to need to get more time. Well, actually, the seller is not obligated to give the buyer more time. You do understand now that their earnest money is in jeopardy. Yeah, you're going to need to extend. The time limits aren't written in pencil. You want to talk about making my head spin around and snot fly out of my nose? Nothing makes me more angry than an inspector or a lender.
I love that. Just had a question come up in the chat, said ask what's your average length of time on a video?
Okay, so used to my average time was about 53 seconds, but we are making longer video because the audience wants a little bit more of a completion of the story. I am really well known for story time. So where I talk about where I sold the wrong house, where I talk about where the house caught on fire, where I talk about that the house flooded during the inspection. Like they want to know the whole story and you can't break it up. So now we're about a minute and a half. Don't go over a minute and a half, because if you go over a minute and a half, it doesn't play well on Instagram. Up to 3 minutes will play on TikTok, but really you need to stay under a minute and a half to tell your story. And you always want the hook. So once upon a time, I sold a big ass house. You are not going to believe what this agent did. Oh, my stars. If I could have punched the inspector in the face and not gotten arrested, I would have. Like, you need like that one frame, that one line where all of that text is on one frame. So if I could have punched the inspector and not gotten arrested, I would have. That's one frame that you put on your social media, and you want to talk about something getting some play, that would get some play.
Absolutely. I got to ask, how'd you sell the wrong house?
Well, this is the thing, is that it wasn't the wrong. Okay, so early on in my career, okay, I'm still wet behind the ears. I showed the guy 5 houses on Saturday. For you guys that are younger, believe it or not, we would wait till the weekend to show houses. Yes, that is correct. But anyway, I digress. So I showed him 5 houses on Saturday. And so we finish and he goes, I want to make an offer on the Buckhead broker listing on West Paces Ferry Road. I'm like, great. I write the offer. He's going to tear it down because he's going to build a house. So he doesn't do an inspection. He doesn't do an appraisal. He's paying cash. So Sunday night, we're going to close on Monday. Sunday night, he calls me, hey, Glennda, there's people still living in the house. I'm like, there wasn't anybody living in it when I showed it. It was an estate. I said, there's nobody living in the house. No, I drove by, Glennda. We didn't do a walkthrough. It would have been wonderful if the house had been struck by lightning or a tree had fallen on it. It would have been less demo costs. No inspection, no appraisal, no walkthrough. No, Glennda, I'm telling you, somebody's living in the house. Well, let me call the agent. Hey, Patty, it's Glennda. Is someone living in the house? No, Glennda, the house has been vacant. She goes, it's probably my assistant. I'm like, oh, okay. I call her. She thinks it was her assistant. No problem. Okay. We go to closing at 11 o'clock on Monday. Back in the olden days, I know those of you who have not been licensed since dinosaurs don't realize that people used to actually get in the car with us. So I take the guy to closing and we go to closing. He closes on the house. Afterwards, he wants to tell me everything he's going to do, what he's going to do with this, where he's going to put the house. I'm like, okay, great. Driving up Habersham Road, get to West Paces Ferry. I get in the right lane. He goes, Glennda, the house is to the left. I said, the house is to the right. He goes, Glennda, the house is to the left. I said, oh, okay. Ha, ha, ha. I'm gonna entertain him. I'm gonna turn to the left. I turn to the left, and in the distance, I see the Buckhead broker sign. And my heart stops. There were 2 listings on West Paces Ferry with Buckhead brokers. We drive by and he goes, see, there's people in it. I'm like, oh my God. Internally, I am dying. I'm like, what? I flip the car around. I am going down West Paces Ferry. I am literally about to die. And he's like, what are you doing? And I pull into the driveway and I jump out of the car. I'm like, Van, this is the house you bought. And he's standing there and he sits down on this knee wall. When I talk about it, it's like I'm still standing there. He sits down on this knee wall and he puts his head in his hand. And he looks up and he goes, "Did you sell me the wrong house?" And I'm like, "The wrong house? This is the right house. This is on an acre. Like, you have an acre on West Paces Ferry. This lot goes on. That's a quarter of an acre by the History Center. Nobody wants to live up there. Why? I could have never ever gotten you that house. That was $6.99. I would have never gotten you that house for this price. That's a quarter of an acre by the History Center." Think about it. You can do the garage like a courtyard and the pool in the front. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so beautiful. He looks at me and he goes, "I think you're right." He's like, I think I can make this work." So of course you can make it work. I honestly, like, what in the world are you think? I don't even know why you would want that lot in there. So I get him back in my car. I get him back to his office. And I turn out of the driveway of his office and I pull into the next like parking lot, and I'm physically ill. I am physically ill. And the only thing I can think is like, I think you lose your real estate license for this. And I have been selling real estate a hot minute at this point in time. Somehow word hits the street that I have sold the wrong house. And the broker of the listing agent calls me and he goes, "I just want to ask one question, Glennda. How the hell do you sell the wrong damn house?" And I said to him, I said, "Well, buddy," I said, "you're the one who taught me contract law. You should probably be asking yourself that." And sure enough, that way, I mean, it turned out okay. The guy bought more houses from me. But I will tell you, I definitely used a real estate life on that story.
That's awesome. That oh,
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. Oh man, this is going way too fast. We've got about 6-7 minutes left because we have a hard stop at 9. I'm sure there's some people out there that have some questions, and please throw your hand up and let's make the best use of our last 8 minutes here. That was an amazing story.
Thank
You got a
you.
question? That was really, really good. Oh, come on now. I got 54 people on the call. Ethan, good morning, sir. Congratulations on your first listing, by the way, young man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Good morning, Glennda. Thank you for being here. And my question, I just want to know if you could recommend one thing or attribute your success to one thing. Like, what do you think is the biggest piece of it all for you that makes it come together?
I didn't try and reinvent the wheel. I watched what top producers were doing. And there was an agent in my office. Her name was Murray Park. And she was the #1 agent in my office of 90 people, one of the top 3 in the entire board. And I sat outside of that girl's office and listened to everything that she said, learned how she talked on the phone, watched how she did flyers and everything, start to finish. There was another agent in the office, Barbara Oliver, and she did open houses. Every single Sunday, she did an open house. And I would just go to the open house just to see what she was doing. And then I remember there was another agent, Glennis Beecham, and she listed all the big fancy houses. And I asked her if I could go on a listing appointment with her, and she let me. And so it was really in those, I took from those 3 agents, like, oh, okay, I can use this piece. Oh, I can use this piece. Oh, I can use this piece. And I literally shook it up in a bag and Glendified it and made it my own. And so, if I think you just said that you got your first listing, one of the things that I did was when I would get a listing, I would do, and you're going to think, oh my God, she's obviously 56 because you're probably 12, but I would send out a postcard. I would door knock. I would go to all of the neighbors' houses, and I still do that today. Like, as soon as I list 123 Banana Street, I list on Thursday. On Wednesday, before the listing ever hits, I door knock the entire neighborhood and tell everybody about 123 Banana Street. I invite them to my open house. I let them know that I'm going to have a lot of traffic. If anybody blocks their driveway, let me know. I'll get it taken care of personally. And I never, ever ask them if they want to sell their house. I always say, you know what? I hope and pray that on Sunday I sell 123 Banana Street. But the likelihood that somebody's going to walk in and that's going to be the perfect house is probably not so likely. Do you know anybody else in the neighborhood who's thinking about selling? And, you know, they always say no. Sometimes they say yes, but a lot of times they say no. And I'm like, okay, well, if you hear of anybody, please just keep me in mind. And just out of curiosity, at what price are you a seller? Oh, Glenda, I'm going out feet first. Oh, okay. Yeah, I certainly understand that. I hope it's not anytime soon. But a lot of times people will say, well, if I could get $1 million, I'd sell my house. Really? Okay, interesting. So like if somebody from the open house doesn't want to buy 123 Banana Street, if I wrote you an offer on your house, you'd move? Absolutely. If you could get me $1 million. You now just have another seller. That same script you can literally use for your open house, for your inspection. So for the people you didn't get to on the open house, you can do it on the inspection. Hey, I have the inspection on 123 Banana Street. I hope and pray that Bobby and Susie still buy 123 Banana Street. But you know, as soon as Bobby and Susie tell all of their friends that they're moving here, they're going to want to move. And I was just wondering, do you know anybody in the neighborhood who wants to sell their house? So those don't discount the old time method just because it's a different day and time, because nothing will get you business like face to face. People do business with people they know, and conversion happens in conversation, and conversation happens face to face and ear to ear.
I love that.
That's so good. Thank you.
You're
Glenda,
welcome.
I see your hand up. Hit the mute button, Jen. There you go.
Great question. So you always wear stars. So I was curious, is it a marketing thing or is it to be recognized? See, there it is. Just was curious why.
So my mother always told me I was a star. Like all of my life, she told me, Pumpkin, you are a star. You are. So I've always had this affinity for stars. She bought me this little cowgirl outfit that was yellow with white stars when I was a little girl. And it was my favorite outfit. Obviously, I still remember it 100 years later. And so when I first started in video, I just did like a black top or a black dress. And it was cold and I threw on this jacket that had black stars on it. And in the comments, oh, I love your jacket. Oh, I love your jacket, Glenda. Glenda, I love that jacket. And I was like, you know what? I think the star thing has got some legs on it. And so then I started putting stars in like more videos. And then when I wouldn't wear stars, people were like, where's your stars today? And then the other day, so I don't wear my bracelet. I have a charm bracelet. I don't wear my bracelet to closing because it makes a lot of noise. And when I'm like writing on the table, like it annoys people. So I had on my bracelet, this bracelet, and the lady goes, I think you're an imposter. I said, excuse me? She goes, you don't have on your bracelet or your stars. And the husband looks at me. These were not my clients. I had the listing. These were the buyers. And the husband looks at me. He goes, all I've listened to for the last 3 weeks are Glenda videos. He goes, I think I hear you in my sleep. And I hear that bracelet all of the time. So it's hilarious. So what happens is you want to be known for something. So for me, I got this big ass accent. I don't think I have an accent, but everybody else does. And I've got the stars and I've got this hair. And so people will hear me talk. I'll be at the Braves game and they're like, oh my God, are you that real estate agent from TikTok? And so you want to be memorable in a good way, not in an annoying way. And the stars have just kind of like thrown the fuel on the fire.
I can't think of a better way to end it. But that 30 minutes went so quickly. I can't.
It did.
Oh, I'll tell you, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming on. We had 53 people on the call, which is
Tony,
awesome.
I'm so honored that you reached out, that you were persistent, that it worked, and I feel like we've had this scheduled for a while. So
It's been a couple months.
thank you so much. I hope that you will share the recording with my team. I'll reach out to you and give you an email address. But thank you so much. Anything I can do for you guys, please don't hesitate to reach out. Send me a direct message, send me a text message. My phone number's on the internet. And if you have anybody come into Atlanta, don't forget about me.
I love it. All right. Thank you, Glenda. Make it a
Thank
great Tuesday, everybody. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.